What is up, babe? Welcome back to the Wind Up Women podcast. I am so excited to have you back here and hanging out with me. Unfortunately, I'm just drinking some water because I am taking part in Dry January, which I'm excited about. I've actually never done this before. I've never taken like a month off of not drinking. So I've been taking progress photos. I've been diving really deep into my nutrition plan and taking like all of these measurements and everything to see how I feel, reflect. It's actually kind of funny. Justin and I went to a brewery yesterday and it was like the true test of my Dry January. And let me tell you, girlfriend, I had a root beer. I was sitting at the bar. I was like, babe, I think I'm going to just order a root beer. He's like, do it. Why not? So I did. And I poured it in like a nice pint glass and it looked like I was drinking beer, but I was satisfied. And so I'm on day 5 now, day 6. And I'm feeling pretty dang good. I'm excited to see how I'm feeling at the end of January and to keep you guys posted and kind of see where I'm going to go from there. But I do wish I was having a little glass of wine with you guys. So cheers to you if you are listening. And if you are having a glass of wine, please enjoy it. Savor every sip and cheers to me from afar, okay? But before we dive into today's episode, I want to just remind you guys that I have officially opened enrollment for Team Rise Up Beautiful. And if you are seriously, you've been creeping on me, you're wondering what the heck I do, how I make an income from my phone, then this is a chance for you to get to know. I actually am hosting a kind of a info session on Facebook. I will attach the link in the show notes below. So just go in there, add yourself in. It's totally free, no questions asked. It doesn't hurt to get information. So if you're looking to kind of do the workouts I do, follow the nutrition plans I follow, be a part of my online community, gain a better relationship with yourself, your food habits, your body, all of those things, and also help others do the same thing, then this is definitely for you. So if you've been looking to maybe expand your income this year, expand your connections this year with your friendships, your family, maybe make new friends and all these things, travel more, do all the things, and this is a great opportunity for you. So stop letting the time, the money, and the energy derail your life, girlfriend, and let's make 2020 our best freaking year. So if you want in, you can email me at shannonjaheen@gmail.com, or I will just put the information in the show notes so you can creep out of yourself, because I know I literally creeped on my coach for years before I jumped in, and that was like the biggest regret was not jumping in sooner, because this is just like the name of the game is online entrepreneurship and residual income, and this is what the future is going to be. So why not jump in now and get started now and really just take a leap of faith and build a freaking business of your dreams, right? How badass would that be? So today, since it is 2020, guess what we're talking about? The word of the year. I know, don't go and get all mushy-gushy on me, but I love picking my word of the year. It honestly has been just a really cool kind of like a compass for me in all decisions I make throughout the year. So this year, it's kind of like 2 words, but 1 word. I'm going to be focusing this whole podcast on kind of self-compassion, compassion. So my word of the year is compassion. And that's towards others, like building really deep connections with people and my clients and my coaches and my team members. I really want to develop that deep connections, but then also I want to develop that compassion within myself and loving my body and everything. So I wanted to make this episode to kind of maybe motivate you to create your own word of the month and to have fun with it. It doesn't have to be compassion. There's like quizzes online you can take, go and check it out, and maybe print out the word on a pretty piece of paper and put it in your office or in your car or on your background of your phone, whatever you feel, so you always remember that word. I found this quote. It says, true compassion means not only feeling others' pain, but also being moved to help relieve it. So we never ever make a change in anything in our life unless we are sick of where we are, right? We're so much in the pain. We just need to get out of that pain to be able to make a change, right? And that's what motivates people, one, to like work out, to start eating healthier, maybe to start a business, to get a side hustle, to change positions in their job, get a new job, all of these things, right? So I chose this word for 3 reasons. So the first reason I chose compassion is because mindset was such a huge struggle for me, and it still is. And that's a huge reason why I started this podcast, because I want to share with you as I'm going through this growth period of working on my mindset truly, because I struggled with multiple eating disorders. I literally, like, way back when in high school, I actually tried to kill myself. It was really, really bad. I tried to take all these pills that I got from my knee surgery this one night, and it was just awful. I will go deep in that subject later on. I just don't feel ready to share fully that. But I chose this word because mindset has honestly been a huge struggle for me for years. And I just want to release that suffering once and for all, right? And if you're feeling that pain and that depression, that anxiety, that sadness inside, then don't you want to release that too? But first, you have to have that compassion for yourself and for others too, right? And number 2, my second reason is no more hating my body, myself for not doing enough, not being enough, not accomplishing enough. You know, I need to have more compassion towards myself, because when I don't, I'm not able to really complete things because I'm beating myself up the whole freaking time. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, well, I didn't get anything done because I was beating myself up all day. Right? So, and the third thing is my goal this year is to help as many women as I can to do the same thing, to find compassion and love for themselves again, to release themselves from that suffering and those chains that they're holding themselves down on, especially if you struggle from eating disorders and all of those things. Like, you are being chained down by that hate, right? And I want to help you find belief in yourself again and take messy, massive action to a beautiful freaking life. How awesome is that? So I kind of looked at the dictionary today and I was like, I want to look at the words that are the opposite. So like antonyms of compassion, right? So these are the opposite meanings, opposite words of compassion. Cruel, harsh, dislike, hatred, cold, disinterest. Doesn't that just give you like, oh God, oh, that just like stabbed me in the heart. Oh, I don't like any of those words. It just feels negative. But then here's words related to compassion: big-heartedness, love, kindness, humanity, warm, loving. Doesn't that just make you feel like I'm literally giving myself a hug right now. Like, doesn't that feel so much better and so much freer and light and like a weight off your shoulders, rather than being cruel, harsh, mean, cold? So I want you to think, which words are you using to talk to yourself? Are you using harsh words? Or are you using loving words? Are you showing compassion towards yourself? Are you being cruel to yourself? Are you being a bully to yourself? Or are you being warm and loving and like a best friend to yourself, right? So I know so many women are feeling like those awful, awful words and using those awful, awful words to express themselves, to beat themselves up. And I know they're using them right now in this moment. And I don't want you to feel that way anymore. So that is my mission this year, to help you fall back in love with yourself, your body, your life, your work ethic, your career, your relationships, your money situation, whatever it may be. Fall back in love with yourself and show yourself some goddamn compassion and grace, girlfriend. Right? So I kind of have little bullets here and I'm going to just riff on them. And these are just like 5 takeaways I want you to focus on when it comes to finding more compassion in your life for 2020 and so forth, right? So number 1, acknowledge when things are hard for you. So Everyone has a different journey. Everyone has different experiences, pains, everything. But it doesn't mean you have to compare yourself and put your pain down, because it's not as bad as that person over there. It's not as bad as this person over here. Your hard is hard, no matter what. There's no comparison, and you need to recognize it, right? By hard, it doesn't mean waiting until things are hard based on what you think should be deserved of compassion, right? And it's not about what's hard by someone else's standards. It isn't. And it's like literally it's about honesty and admitting to yourself when life is hard for you. No one can tell you your life is hard. You have to decide that, right? And once you decide it is hard and you realize it is hard, you need to recognize your pain, your suffering, those feelings, hold space for that, and help yourself get through it. You don't wallow in it. You just have to recognize it, hold space for it, and give yourself the energy that is needed to help yourself through that pain, that suffering, that hard season of life, right? So don't get down on yourself and don't compare your season of hard to anyone else's seasons. Number 2, be unconditionally loving and accepting friend to yourself. So I always think about, like, if you had a daughter, or if you do have a daughter, would you say the things to her, the things that you say to your head and yourself? So think about it. Would you treat your family members, your spouse, your best friend, wow, my voice just cracked, your best friend, or even your children this way? Would you say, wow, I'm so freaking ugly? Wow, you look awful today. Wow, your body, ugh, ew. Like, wow, you need to lose weight, girlfriend. Wow, you suck. You are a shitty friend. You can't accomplish anything. Would you say that to your own daughter? Or your best friend? Or your mother? No. So why are we saying it to ourselves? Right? So you need to be a friend to yourself first to find that compassion. Number 3, love this one. Hug yourself. Give yourself a big hug and practice self-care. Self-care is a huge thing. So first, hugging yourself, it might sound super silly, but honestly, it can mimic the benefits of getting one from another person, right? So the feeling of like being nurtured and warm and getting a nice hug and helps you feel calm, like those weighted blankets that people get now for anxiety. That could be something you do. Like when you're feeling like super anxious, just give yourself a hug and be like, it's okay. You got this. Be present and feel it. I dare you to try that. Try it right now as you're listening to this podcast. Give yourself a hug. And then practicing self-care. So don't forget about yourself, especially if you're a busy mama, you have like multiple jobs, you're a CEO, you're a business owner, you're a coach, whatever it may be. Practice self-care, because if you're not focusing on yourself first and showing compassion and love to yourself, how can you show compassion and love to anyone else? So going for a massage, getting a mani-pedi, or doing painting your nails by yourself, going for walks out in nature, or being a kid again, Go have fun. Go bowling. I don't know. Go build a fort in the woods. Go play with dogs. Go to an animal shelter and pet puppies. That sounds really fun. But just have fun and practice self-care. Do what you need to do to focus on you, even if it's for 5 minutes a day. All right. Number 4, build genuine relationships. So, girlfriend, I am a freaking introvert. I love to be home. I like to be alone. I just love it. And sometimes I forget to reach out to family and friends. And honestly, I just totally forget. And like even my text messages, sometimes I freaking don't respond to a text for like a week. And I'm so bad at it. Which leads me to also hiding my feelings, hiding my emotions when I'm around people, because I want to avoid any discomfort it might cause them or me, which then causes a huge freaking wall built between me and that person And why the heck would they want to get to know me when they're like, she doesn't share anything about herself? Why would I share anything about me? Right? It's like, oh, look, she's got her life all together. Then why would I even share my pains with her? Because she must be perfect, right? So if you're not sharing yourself vulnerably, you're not going to build genuine relationships. Because they're going to just be like, ugh, she's like, she's too perfect. She's too cold. She's not warm and loving. She won't understand what I'm going through because she doesn't go through it. But little do they know, you might have gone through it. You just aren't sharing and opening up. So building genuine connections really requires us to find that common thread, right? Like the pain, like having that common thread through a pain point or a joy or love or happiness, things that we love in our life or something traumatic that happened to us. Maybe there was that pain point that we all like connected on. Our life experiences are different, but some of the pains, the emotions, and the joy might be similar. And that's what you need to tell people and get to know people by sharing those vulnerable sides of us, right? So by being vulnerable and sharing our story with those who deserve it to hear it, we then feel connected. And then that's when the true, genuine relationships form. So open up, girlfriend. Don't be afraid of sharing, because you never know who is out there waiting to hear from you. Number 5, this is the last one. You know, I'm huge on affirmations and journaling and all of the things. I did a podcast a few weeks ago. It's like one of my first few podcast episodes, my journaling and affirmations routine every morning. So go back and listen to that. But I want you to think about when you're practicing compassion towards yourself, towards others, memorize a set of like phrases or something. You can either look up on the internet or things that might resonate with you that you are struggling with currently when you're talking to yourself badly, like your body image or confidence or ability to do something, all of these things, right? So think of like a set of phrases that you might say when you hear yourself talking bad about yourself. So when you find yourself saying, I'm a shitty person, I'm horrible, I'm ugly, it helps to have a few phrases ready to go when you are thinking of those things, those negative things, right? So pick statements that really resonate with you. Go on Pinterest, go on Google and look up compassionate phrases. I'm going to look them up right now for you. Compassionate phrases. And, I love these. You deserve it. You are beautiful. Dare to be bold. Ooh, love that. Okay. So those are a couple examples, but combining that with a physical gesture, like giving yourself a hug, like hands over your heart or a hug or a pat on the back or like a fun little dance move, it really, really is so powerful. Here are a couple extra phrases you could do, kind of like when you're feeling in like the worst pain ever, you feel like you can't get out of it, maybe say this to yourself. This is a moment of pain and hurt. Pain is a part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment, and may I give myself the compassion I need. Can I be a friend to myself? Can I love myself? Can I get through this pain? And the answer to all of those is yes, girlfriend, you can. You totally can. So my goal for you this year, 2020, is to show yourself and others more compassion. Fall back in love with yourself. And I'm going to go back to the quote I said in the beginning, and that is true compassion means not only feeling another's pain, but also being moved to help relieve it. So first and foremost, you have to feel your pain and be moved to make a change to heal, right? And then if you want to show compassion and build true, genuine relationships, you need to feel and open up and really listen to someone else's pain and hurt and joys and happiness and all the things. Get to know them and help them get through those tough moments, those happy moments, all those things. You have to be that rock solid friend and compassionate friend to them, right? So I hope this episode resonated with you, and I just can't wait. If you want, screenshot this episode, share with me your word of the year. What is the word that you are going to be focusing on this year, and that's going to guide you through every decision you make and through life's tough parts of life, right? So if this episode resonated with you, screenshot it and tag me on Instagram at Shannon Shaheen Fitness to share your biggest takeaways and the word that you are choosing for the year. I also would totally appreciate it. I'm looking to get up to 1,000 reviews this year. So please click subscribe and leave a review and rating just below on iTunes, or I think you can do it on Anchor or Stitcher or Spotify, all the things. I just would love a review. It doesn't have to be long. You can just leave a quick, love your podcast, girl. I totally appreciate it. And I will actually start doing review giveaways once they build up to about 100, okay? So I'm so excited for that. I just can't wait. And thank you so much for listening today, girl. And go pour yourself a glass of wine, or if you're doing dry January like me, a seltzer water in a wine glass or grape juice. I don't know. Because I always say it's never good to keep things bottled up. I'll see you next week. Bye, babe.